Where there is a will, there is a way. And to prove this, it is no other than Phoebe Nongrum, who has brought laurels to the state by winning a trophy in the recently held 23rd JK Racing National Championship that was held in Coimbatore. And remember, today she is one of India's first women Formula 4 drivers and the first from Northeast. Hi Phoebe, welcome to EastMojo.com. So finally you're here, a teat with you. Finally we're getting this opportunity. Firstly, I would like to ask you, how difficult is it to become a professional racer for a person from Northeast? And does being a woman make it even more difficult?
The sport itself is difficult, and it is an expensive sport, and for being a woman from Northeast, for me personally, I find it even more difficult because I come from not such a big state. And I would need some help, some sponsors, and it's difficult for me to find these sponsors because it's a small state, it's not such a big state, and let alone I'm from Meghalaya, Shillong, which is even a smaller state in the Northeast, So so basically motorsports as a whole is an expensive sport. So I did not know this. I mean, I've always had the passion, I've always loved the sport. I never imagined I would actually get here one day, but now that I'm here, it hasn't been an easy journey, but then I think that if things come easy, you'd never set yourself to that limit, or have enough motivation to actually reach your goal. So I think when it's a challenge, you would challenge yourself and try to reach your goal. So I think because it is fierce and because it is a big challenge for me, that's why I didn't mind taking it up and taking the journey.
So who were your idols when you were growing up, and what are your first memories of motorsports?
Since I come from Shillong, the only thing I had that was close to motorsports was the TV. There was Formula 1 and there was MotoGP. As much as I love cars, I even love bikes. So I love engines basically, anything that, engines, they make my adrenaline rush, and I love speed. So basically I never had, any chance to go visit a track or, watch someone racing, The only way I could do that was TV, through television. So my at that point of time when I was growing up, my role model was I would say Michael Schumacher was one, and Niki Lauda was one, and the other one would be for MotoGP. I mean, I've always had an eye for Rossi. I mean, I think Rossi is brilliant in riding. So this is the only way that I got close to racing, through television. That's about it.
How was your family's reaction when they got to know that you're into motor racing? How did they react?
The reaction obviously wasn't pleasant. Second of all, being from Shillong, where people here believe that education is very important, I did not have the choice, to say that, okay, I do not want to study, or I want to leave town, I want to go get into racing, things like that is something that you can't say on a normal day basis. So my parents, I always told my parents, I want to be a race car driver. They're like, okay, I'm a kid, it's okay, you study first, finish your studies, finish your degree, finish your masters, whichever, however far I can go, just finish your studies, you'll figure it out then. So I'm like, okay, fine, what else to do? So I continued my studies. I left Shillong, I went out, I studied outside and all that. But while I was studying outside, that's when I actually thought to myself, this is my chance. I'm out here, I need to go find someone who does racing, or I need to find where racing is happening. I need to find a track, I need to go, to the track and, watch the race, learn some more, stuff like that. So initially my parents, even when I started racing, I had come back home after 12 years. I was in Bangalore, I had come back home. They were still not keen. I came back for other reasons, starting up a business, or getting into a job here, stuff like that. And I told my dad, I've been, for 12 years, I've been studying, I've been, working in Bangalore. I said, give me a break. 1 year, just 1 year, I asked that 1 year break, let me just go racing. Let me see if I get anywhere. If I don't get anywhere, it's okay. I'll do what I have to do. Get a normal government job and, go to work, come home every day, But in my heart, I know that if I want something, I'm going to fight for it. That's the kind of person that's how I've been born and brought up. Like my dad has never, or my parents have never spoon fed me. They have never told me, okay, fine, if you can't do this, come, you're a kid, I'll do it for you. No, they'll train me to do things on my own. So basically, I have been, I've grown up in such a way where I know that if I need something, I need to go fetch it myself. So that way, when I was outside, when I was studying outside, working outside, it was the same thing for me. I was in a big city by myself. What does a small town girl know in a big city, right? So I had to go out there, I had to go find out things, I had to go to get those experience. So that way I did not give up the fight, and I told my dad, just give me the chance. If you give me one chance, that's it, I just need to take off. And if I land somewhere far, then good. If not, then I said I'll come back to where you asked me to be, and I'll be there. But fortunately for me, it worked out. So that's like right now.
Parents, weren't they concerned about, like we have to speak about facts, like accidents do happen in motorsports and all of this. So weren't your parents concerned about such things, and like didn't they stop you, or anything about when it comes to accidents or any of this issue?
As I was growing up, I was this tough little kid, I wasn't the type of girl who would like say, Mommy, I want a Barbie doll, or Mommy, I want, that kind of doll, or Mommy, I want this pretty dress. I've not worn a single dress, I think, until I was 18. I used to hate that stuff. So in a way, they kind of know that I was the tough one and the like a little bit tomboyish, and I like to do things like, fear doesn't, I don't get scared, fear doesn't take control of me. Like I would love to try anything. I know probably if I jump from a tree also I'd break my leg, but I'd still try, I was that kind of a kid. So I think they kind of got used to that bit about me. So when I told them I'm going to do it such a dangerous sport, maybe they had in their mind, like, oh no, what if something happens to you? But they never said it out loud. Maybe for them it was like, if I say it out loud, I'm going to make her nervous, But my mom is one tough woman herself, and I think I got it from both my parents, and my dad is a tough man himself. So both of them are quite very tough. So I think knowing that to themselves, they believe that they brought up somebody who's who's strong and who's tough just like them. So yeah, I think they've never really come across and told me anything, but I'm so sure at the back of their minds at one point of time they must have thought, okay, this is dangerous. But at the end of the day, they also know that I know that it's a dangerous sport, but I choose it. So in that way, I'm thankful that my parents, in one way, they might have given me advice that, this is probably not good for your future, but they let me also at the same time prove it to them that, okay, if you can prove it to us, this is getting you somewhere, then fine, like you can go ahead. So they gave me that option, so I'm thankful for my parents for being like that.
And motorsports, it's considered an expensive hobby or profession for most people. Now, when you were growing in the ranks of professional racing, how big was the challenge of accessibility of resources?
The first person who supported me was my dad itself, he had questions, but then so it's an expensive sport. Of course, I had saved my own money. Whatever I could take out from my pocket, I took out. But I needed my dad's help as well, like it wasn't easy for me. Like I said, when I took the 1 year break, I asked my dad, give me that break. So when I took the break, whatever money I've earned for 12 years being away working, I've saved that money, and whatever I needed help, I would go to my dad and say, okay, I'm short of this much, or I need this help. So I would go to him and he would help me out, So like to say till now, till wherever I am, it has been a very difficult journey, and I've had like a few friends who've helped me. Like in fact, I've had friends who are nice to me. I've had friends who are like, we know you can do this. We want to support you, stuff like that. So they've just come upfront by themselves and believing in me and saying, okay, we want to help you with this token, or we want to help you with that token. So that's put me through quite a bit, So yeah, my journey has just been that way. Like I don't have a specific sponsor, but I do have friends, friends on the biking community who's come up and helped me, who've made efforts to find sponsors for me. And if they couldn't, they would, amongst themselves try to get some certain sum of money, whatever help,
So Phoebe, what are your future plans for the sport? And you have now been racing for already 3 years. So what motivates you to wake up and try new things in the sport?
My future plans are, like I said, we need to start somewhere and then we need to keep moving. So right now I started in my own town, and right now I'm moving national. So my hope and dream is to actually move further than the nationals. and probably, you know, find some sponsors and maybe move ahead to internationals, maybe at least Asia, you know, around Asia maybe, and find a team that would pick me and maybe, like, you know, represent India somewhere around Asia. So it's still a long way to go as of now for me, and I still need to concentrate on the nationals also quite a bit more. This is my first podium. I would love to take the championship one day, you know. So I need to concentrate more on the nationals as of now, maybe for another 2 to 3 years, or, you know, if probably I find someone who's going to pick me for international, then maybe I'd head for international. So that's my future plans, but yeah.
So what would your suggestions be to teenagers, especially girls who are interested in the sports and want to consider taking it up?
First and foremost, if they're from Northeast, they can always get in touch with me, because you know, they'll probably need guidance, and I would love to guide them. I would love if more girls come up and, you know, take part in this kind of like sport, like especially motorsports, since now motorsports is growing for women as well out there. And my suggestion would be that even though if they wouldn't start the sport as early as now, or as early as 13 or 14, they could actually start up karting for a while, and maybe, you know, go out sometimes, go out of Shillong sometimes, maybe into the cities, and try some karting. And then if they would love to take it further, the racetracks are always open. They always have trainings, they have always training programs, selection programs, you know. All these things are happening now for the girls, and now the Federation of Motorsports of India and internationally are you know, taking in girls from age 13 and above. So if you're 13 and above, they'll start taking you into racing academies. You know, they'll try to you know, they'll help you learn, and, you know, they'll help you grow that way. So there are a lot of other ways and opportunities right now for women and for girls, young girls, even boys for that matter. So yeah, that's like, if anyone from Shillong at least wants to get into this, I'm always here. They can get in touch with me. I would love to help them. I would love to guide them along the way.
So far, you know, you've won laurels to the state. You've won, like, time and again, you know, you've gained the limelight. Has the you know, the government, or, you know, the ministers in charge and all from the sports section especially, have they, you know, recognized your work, or have they approached you or anything?
It's really sad and heartbreaking for me to say this, but no, not at all. Apart from that, I have been trying to approach them, but, you know, I haven't gotten any help. So yeah, so the sports department hasn't you know, helped me or anything. I've tried approaching them, but I didn't see any you know, fruit bearing out of that. But then yes, I did approach MLA Mr. Hima Shangpliang. He has guided me, you know, quite a bit, and also the new DC, Miss Isa Wanda, she has, Madam has helped me quite a bit. She's also guided me with a few things. She's trying her best to help me out in this field. She told me, like, you know, I'll try whatever I can. So at least being able to meet them and them giving me a word that they will try is good enough for me. But yeah, the sports department, like, has failed. I don't think the sports department has only failed me. I think the sports department has failed all the athletes, all the good talents, all the good sports people in Shillong actually. For me, I wouldn't want the sports department to look at me alone, because I know there are so many other athletes that are doing well in Shillong. And they have brought names to Shillong. I'm not the only one in different fields, and they have also been turned a blind eye. So if they would have to look at me, I would love it if the sports department would consider sports an important, you know, one of the important agenda in, you know, in Shillong, and that sports is not just a joke, you know, because people like us who work hard and who try to do what we love doing in sports, it just doesn't come easy for any of us.
You know how in car racing or motorsports, you know, there's no segregation of male or female. Can you just shed some light on that?
Yeah, so one thing I love about motorsports is once you put that helmet on, it doesn't matter if you're a male or a female. Then there's no gender in that. And you know, sometimes I love it because when you're racing, you don't even know who's behind that helmet, because you're wearing a suit, you're all covered up, and you know, your hair's tucked in, and you know, nobody knows either if it's bike racing or if it's car racing. And then suddenly when you're done and you won a podium and you take out your helmet and people see, oh my god, it's a woman, it's not a man, you know. So I feel like motorsports is like gender equal, like, there is no inequality in that. Yes.
So definitely here a very pleasant conversation with Phoebe Nongrum once again, a Formula 4 race driver, and as she's mentioned, she's taken up challenges. She's sought that opportunity, that 1 year opportunity that she had sought from her family. Once when they gave her, she proved her worth. She proved herself that she could bring laurels not only to the family but also to the state. And sadly, it's the sports department who has not been able to recognize her work. And if this message goes out to the sports department and also to the Meghalaya Chief Minister, it will really help and do a lot of wonders for the people who need recognition. This is Princess Rashia for EastMojo.com in Shillong.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to East Mojo. For any queries, put them down in the comments section below and press on the bell icon for notifications.